Hello guys, my name is Ansiesta. In this video, I would like to rank all of the Frictional games and only the mainline games, right? So for example, Requiem I will not rank just because it's just a puzzle game, just a DLC, and as well as Justin because it's really short DLC. They're both decent, but you know, they don't have the aspects that other have, so it would be really not fair to rank them with the mainline games, right? So the mainline games are Penumbra Overture, Penumbra Black Plague, Amnesia The Dark Descent, Amnesia Mission for Pigs, Soma, Rebirth, and The Bunker. And as you can see, I have this tier list, and I'm gonna just put it from a D to S. S is the best, D is the worst, B is the average, the medium. And this is my personal list, and let me know in comments down below what is your ranking of this. I'll be really curious about that, and let's dive into the first one. Penumbra Overture. Penumbra Overture is the first entry after a demo from Frictional Games. Penumbra Overture is pretty outdated in a sense of graphics in these days, to be honest. It's a really old game. I mean, old graphic, right? It's 2007, I think. Yeah, 2007, and it is pretty limit in a sense of the budget that the studio had, right? The game takes place in the minings. I think it is in Greenland, and it is like in a snowy Arctic area, but you mostly are in the caves and the minings. I think the narrative about this game is really good, to be honest. It feels really like the atmosphere is really lonely, which actually makes it so cool, you know? Like, it's not like that scary, but it can be scary because you actually realize how lonely you are in there. And like, okay, there is some creatures and stuff, and there is maybe red, you know, when you go further into the game. But it's like so, like the atmosphere is really well made there, I feel like. With the music and everything, and you realize you're in like middle of Greenland, just in some mining caves where no one is. It's so cool, actually. As I said, I really like the music design as well as the game design. I think even because of the limit budget and, you know, it's a really old game, I think the game design is really good. And we can cover as well the puzzles, you know, like for example, when you have the first hub area, where you have the offices, you know, the storage and stuff, and you make like the dynamite, the explosion. I really like that. For example, like a really simple puzzle, you know, you have a note, and you have literally like a numbers inside of the text, and you need to find the numbers, and then you need to put it backwards because it says it there. And I know it's really simple puzzle, but like it's, I don't know, it's just so unique. And you know, make an explosion, you have some generator rooms, and I actually really enjoy Red. You know, for someone it could be really, I think he's not annoying, he's really he's like, I don't know, I just like Red a lot, you know? Who doesn't? I think, for example, in the second game we're gonna talk about in Penumbra Black Plague, there is like the really annoying virus, but in this Overture, Red is like a just a companion, but really just pretty weird, you know? Pretty weird one, but I think it's really cool. Yeah, I like the game a lot, but obviously it suffers, as I said, from the budget. You know, villains like a spiders, you know, the dogs and stuff. It just not scary, and it's outdated in that sense. I like the inventory. I'm okay with having the pickaxe and hammer. I like examining things. It's something that is so cool because it gives the environment like more, you know, just some more questions, you know. So I liked it a lot. And yeah, environments were pretty interesting, puzzles were pretty interesting. I think for me, Penumbra Overture goes in a solid B tier. I don't think it goes any further because you have big competition. Because other games are just so good with the high budget. So that's the reason why I put a B. But when it comes to overall games, I enjoy it even to A tier, but I'm gonna place a B tier because, as I said, a big competition. Penumbra Black Plague. Now I know this will be a bit hot take, but I actually don't like Black Plague. I think that they actually improve on a lot of things, like for example the inventory. You know, you don't have combat, you have better villains, you know, you have the kind of like aliens things, maybe even better story. It really depends, but to be honest, I didn't care about the story. I know it was like more deep with the virus and everything. I like some certain things with the virus, to be honest. um, but in general, I actually wasn't into the story. I also didn't enjoy the environments. I think the environments were just really boring because it was all the time the same. It was just the I don't know what was that even. It was like some alien, like just some sci-fi rooms and tunnels. Yeah, and I just didn't enjoy it. There was some weird things as well going on with some certain dreams and stuff. Uh, and the really interesting thing that I actually liked about the virus and everything is, for example, that you wanted to meet with the girl that should help you to remove the virus, but the virus like changed the perception inside of your brain that she's the enemy, right? She's the alien, and so you actually killed her, but you realize that the whole time the virus was just projecting it differently, and it was just a girl wanting to helping you. So it's that was actually a good moment of this game. Like, I felt really bad and I felt like really surprised. I think puzzles were improved. I think puzzles are definitely more enjoyable in this game. But I don't know, the environments, the story, I just didn't like it, to be honest. And I think it's definitely weaker than Overture. I still respect it. I still like some part of it, but I like more Overture, and that's the reason why I put it in a C tier. I would like to know your opinion as well on Black Pig. Like, I know a lot of people likes him more than Overture, so I'll be really happy if you can share it in the comments down below. Why did you like more than Overture? Now we have a big revolutionary game of Frictional games, and that's Amnesia: The Dark Descent. Now I was pretty surprised that the company like Frictional Games, the studio, actually didn't like Amnesia: Dark Descent too much. Like, I don't know, from what I heard, like from the interviews and stuff, they actually think it was like pretty, like, not that good game. I mean, for them it was like really revolutionary because like the game just literally saved them, you know. Without Amnesia: The Dark Descent, without the risk, without the sales on a Steam for Penumbra trilogy, we wouldn't have Soma, we wouldn't have Bunker and stuff like this. So, and obviously Dark Descent itself, right? So I think it was like so big risk, but I guess it pays off because this game is just insane. This game is obviously a medieval castle. Medieval castle is something that I love. Like, this is my literally favorite setting for whatever game. And for horror genre as well, I think this is a perfect setting for me to play. I really like the intentionality towards atmosphere. I mean, we can see it in Penumbra as well, but in here, I think the gameplay were really simplified and mainly focused on the story and the atmosphere itself. The story is perfect for me. You know, as a start, you don't know what is happening. You're pretty scared. You take a lantern and then you read the note. And in the note, you have everything that you actually need to know, right? You need to kill Alexander. Find him in an inner sanctum. That's all you need to know. And that's actually the game, right? But then it expands, the story expands, and it's expanding in a ratio that actually makes sense, right? So reading about the past, like what actually happened in Algeria, right, with the Europe and stuff, and just so interesting story. And actually, it was the first game where I actually read the notes. Like, the notes were so interesting, especially the ones with the with the commentary, right? It was really interesting. The environments are so unique. The game design is perfect. The puzzles are perfect as well. They're not that much really like hard, but they're also really unique and simple, but also sometimes could be hard. You know, just a perfect balance. That's what I'm trying to say. Every environment is interesting. Every environment is beautiful. It's scary, but beautiful. That's how I would describe Amnesia: The Dark Descent. And yeah, I think this game definitely is one of my favorite games. so definitely goes into the S tier. After a really successful and recovery kind of from the studio itself, they wanted to pass on something, right? Because they probably wanted to work on bigger project after Dark Descent, like more bigger with the bigger budget and stuff. But they know that it will take some time, right? So they probably pass it on the Chinese Red Studio, I think it called pronounces. I'm not sure actually, but something like this. And so this Chinese studio that is focusing on more like a walking simulator, right? And so they wanted to make a game in a based in London, right? When you had like the, I think 18th century, I think this game is, and so you have like all the machines and all the like factories and stuff. And to be honest, when I like watched it, I never actually played before because everyone was saying it was bad, and so when I watched, I was saying, okay, yeah, it's really the worst game ever. But when I actually bought it and actually played it, and I was saying, okay, no matter what others saying, no matter how it will be, let's just enjoy the experience and let's just go there without any expectations. Just enjoy the experience. And I was so immersed with the game. I was so engaged inside of this game. It's insane. It's walking simulator in a good way. A lot of people think that walking simulator is a bad thing, but this is something like a movie, right? So you experiencing the movie, you walking around, you seeing the beauties of this game in a sense of environment. And atmosphere and soundtrack, and you're experiencing it in a good way, because obviously you don't have inventory, you can't like interact with things. The gameplay is like, there is no even gameplay, I would say. You have infinite lantern and you're just like going around. It's just walking simulator. Puzzles are so easy and boring. Like it's not focused on that. What is focused on is the story, the adventure, right? So the story, the environments, the atmosphere, and the immersion inside of the game. And I think this is actually well made. I'm so thankful that I give it a try, in a sense of not having any expectations. Going in the mansion, then going into the church, then going into the piston rooms and into Seavers, and then back and forth, and like seeing the Mandos, like going through this hell, and like, I don't know if I should trust the guy on the I don't know what was that, the device that they used to talk with the Mandos, to power on the factory again, the machine. And yeah, it has an interesting story. It's really like an epic adventure kind of. And I know a lot of people don't like it. I respect it, but for me, it's a really good game. I would give it A tier. I really enjoy it. But for me, it's even like A plus. I really enjoy this game. So if you're thinking about it, if you like really atmosphere and movie and stuff, give it a try without any expectation. Get immersed in the game. It's actually not that long, and the ending is great. And I forgot about the biggest problem of this game, and that's obviously the pigs, the villains. They're not scary. Their animation is so goofy, and I think that's the main reason why I put it out of S, because of this. I think that's a really sad thing to see. It's there is no scariness, because the pigs are just not scary. They're kind of like goofy and pretty cringe. So yeah, that's a really really big disappointment.
Yeah, I'm up.
As we said, Frictional Games was, building a big game, and that was Soma. And to be honest, it's really interesting that you have Amnesia: The Dark Descent that has so much popularity, and you want to go totally in a different direction, right? I mean, it has the same kind of concept, um, and but it's like not even Amnesia 2. It's just Soma. And I think it just pays off because this game is absolutely masterclass, right? Um, it's really interesting how it just it just makes sense, and it's so beautifully um like thought about, right? Like the biggest strength of this game, for me at least, is the narrative. That you're just going into brain scan, living in Toronto, in these days, and then you immediately move up into the future, and you don't know what the fuck is going on. And it's really interesting because you can actually again emerge with the Simon. Why? Because you're living in this period of time as well, and you actually think about how it would feel if you are in that, right? And what is, at my opinion, the best thing about this game is, first of all, the narrative, the consciousness, like the whole consciousness transportation and stuff. It was really interesting, the ending. I love it. But also the dialogues between Simon and Catherine. I just enjoyed them. They're really defaultish. They're really like how to say, like a natural, but it just works, and I just love it so much. I so much enjoyed the dialogues between Catherine and Simon because I don't know. For me, it was great. It was great because it was so interesting. You have a guy from this period of time, and he's talking with a woman that is like in the future and has so much different experiences and thought. It's just so interesting for me. Um, but other than that, environments are beautiful. I think the most beautiful in the whole games. Like they're so detailed and crazy good. They're crazy good. And yeah, I think it just, again, a bit walking simulator for someone could be, but I think you have some like a decent encounters with enemies. I don't think the enemies are that much scary, but the main thing what is scary is obviously the sound design again, and the annoying, the glitches, which I don't know why. I think it works, and I think it's really really insane game. Definitely Soma is in an S tier behind Amnesia: The Dark Descent. Amnesia Rebirth was another game, and by the name, it should probably reboot the or make a sequel to the Amnesia: The Dark Descent, right? So people are expecting really similar game towards that, and we have some connections, with Herbert, or I don't know, in the Algeria and like the expedition and stuff. And you actually can look up into the Penumbra castle, if I'm no, sorry, yeah, you can actually look up in the Algeria ruins that they were in on the expedition. You can see like some really cool features and like a, how to say, like not flashbacks but Easter eggs, let's say. But Rebirth was totally different, right? It was just purely focused on a story that just no one cares about. You know, like when you make a cutscene that is 10 seconds long with the airplane flying, then it crashes down. You have a people on board on a plane. You have a husband that literally 10 seconds ago you actually first like seen him. You don't know how they act. You don't know who they are. You just see them. Um, and you as a Tazi, you need to care, like you as a player, you need to care about Tazi, that she lost her husband and that she has some other crew members, and like you never saw them before. You don't know who they are, and there is no like a good introduction. I feel like, and that's the problem. It just didn't emerge, and to be honest, the caves at the start is the most boring part that I ever played inside of every game. I think it's just so fucking boring, but when you get into the town, it's actually really good. I really like the mansion, the town, or how to call it, where you make in the bullet so you can go into cistern, right? Drop down the cistern. I think this segment is really good, but then you get into this sci-fi laboratory, and then you went out of laboratory, then you get again on the fucking like sand, right? Again. But then you again drop down to some sci-fi theme. Then you again go in there, and then again you like, what? Like, bro, come on, like let us breathe. It's just so, it tries to be terror. It tries to be like unexpected, but it's just too much. It's just too much, and it's not fun. It's not enjoyable. It's not rewarding. It's really long. The environments are the same all the time. The Tazi story, no one cares, or at least I didn't care. Like, I don't know, it's just so boring. The characters are not interesting. The environments, as I said, are not interesting. The puzzles, I mean, it's not about puzzles. So yeah, I mean, if you don't enjoy the story of Tazi being pregnant and like, like lost her husband and stuff, like, I don't think it's actually worth it to play, because it's not actually enjoyable. The worst thing about this game, and actually the thing why I can't play this game, like I just can't play this game, is when you're a bit in the dark and you start to shake and you start to have those PNG images on the screen. Bro, I hate this so much. I so much hate this. Like, it's so annoying. You're a bit in the dark. It's not even dark, and you are starting to shake and transforming into the ghoul. Um, it's just so annoying, and I hate it so much. There is no monster encounters. Not at all. The sci-fi themes are so boring, and yeah, I hate this game. I think this is a misstep from the Frictional games. And I think for me, Rebirth is the worst one and is in D tier. Last one, we have the Amnesia Bunker. Amnesia Bunker was, to be honest, really big experiment, right? What is really interesting is that, when I saw the first trailers, you have fucking gun. How this can be scary. But when I actually played, oh, holy shit, it's actually really, really scary. Like, to be honest, for me, I think this is the most scariest game out of all. I think the atmosphere inside of the bunker, inside of the World War One. Sorry, I can't pronounce it. It's one of the best settings for horror, to be honest. And I actually never saw any other horror than this in this kind of setting. So that's really interesting. For me, I'm not fan of survival horror games, but this is really simple, right? This is really simple. It's a pretty short game. It doesn't have that many like environments, but still the game design is perfect. It's so cool that you have like a free room. It's not like straight, but you can go whenever, like for whatever you want. The lockers, it's so interesting. It's rewarding. It's like you care about your survival, because you need to save it onto the lamp, right? But I think the crafting is really interesting. It's not like overcomplicated. It's not like oversimplicity, right? It's like something in the middle. It's simple, effective, but really enjoyable and scary as hell. The monster is scary, but I mean, when you're playing it like longer, then obviously the monster will have the same animation, same sounds and stuff, so it's probably gonna be more frustrating because you need to hide and stuff. But at least at the first, like, I don't know, 2 hours, it's fucking scary. Like, it is scary. And I was literally just hiding, even if I didn't hear the sound, because it was like fucking scary. It's great. It's a great game, and I wanted to put into the S tier, but it's like really short game, so pretty short game, and it doesn't have even like that much story. So I think I'm gonna drop in an A plus. I think it's a great game, but I think Soma Dark Descent is like the best games, right? So yeah, that's it from me. I'm really curious about your ranking. Share it in the comments down below. And also, if I'm gonna be honest, I think that next game actually that will be released by Frictional Games, I hope it will be Soma 2. I mean, it would make sense, if you make Soma 2. And I think there was already some teasers going on, so maybe we're gonna get Soma 2. But I don't think it will be in near future. I think it will be like in 2027, let's say, because making Soma 2 is pretty like a hard game to make, but I mean, if it makes sense. I don't have any like information, just rumors and some teasers and stuff. So we're gonna see, or maybe we're gonna get some sequel to the bunker because it was actually really popular. I think it was actually, yeah, it was just a really good game. So yeah.